So when you have a large set of data that's grouped and continuous, what we use is a cumulative frequency curve to understand the data and to get information from the data, to find quartiles, to find our median, to find different information. And it's a good way to get a sense for what's really happening with the data. So here's a number of customers in a small cinema. They get 0 to 10 people in that cinema quite rarely, only once. I have gone to a movie once where I went with a friend and we were the only 2 people watching that movie for the entire movie. So that was a very weird feeling to have this big, huge movie theater and be the only 2 people in there. I think probably part of the problem is it was a Monday night and we went to the 11:30 show. So I think that's probably not, like, people aren't, you know, if you waited a half an hour longer, it's Tuesday and then prices are cheaper. So why would you go at Monday night at 11:30? Who knows? Anyway, so that has happened to me, so this is me. 1. Your cumulative frequency at that point is 1, because it only happened once. Between 10 and 20 happens 4 times, so now cumulative, and cumulative means you add up stuff. Everything from before is included. You might have had tests in some subject areas where your teacher says it's cumulative, meaning everything you've done up till now is going to be on that test. Those are everyone's favorite tests. And so now our cumulative frequency would be 5, because we just add the 1 plus 4 more. And now we add 9 more, so our cumulative frequency is 14. Add 11 more, and we're at 25. Add 32 more, and we're at 57. Add 23 more, and we are at 80, then 90, then 99, and finally 100. So we can take those cumulative frequencies and we can graph them, making a cumulative frequency graph. So what I'll get you to write on the left side of your graph is cumulative frequency. On the right side, we're going to write customers. Our customers went to 100, so I think if we do every 2 is 10. That should spread it out nicely. Yes, it does. And if we go every 2 is 10 here as well. So the way that you plot a cumulative frequency curve, or an OGIVE, is you go to your group data, and our first group data is from 0 to 10. And from 0 to 10, the cumulative frequency is 1. So right before 10, we'll mark 1. Not quite on 10, but right before 10. Basically at 10. And at 20, our cumulative frequency is 5. Now, it doesn't include 20, so we'll go right before 20 and mark it at 5. At 30, we were at 14, so right before 30, mark it at 14. Then 25, right before 40. 57, right before 50. 80, right before 60. 90, right before 70. 99, right before 80. And 100, right before 90. And then we'll draw a smooth curve through all of these points. And that is our cumulative frequency curve. Now, if there was 100 people, where would your median be? Between 50 and 51? So if we wanted to get an estimate for the median from our cumulative frequency curve, what we would do is we would take our frequency at 50 and then go straight down from there and estimate our median from that. I think my one line might be, line it up just perfect. Looks like at about 47. So it would be an estimate that our median would be 47 customers. If I wanted to find my quartile 1 and my quartile 3, what values would I use? Since I have 100 in total, quartile 1 is going to be about 25. Quartile 3 is going to be about 75. So I'm going to go from 25 over until I hit my graph, and then down from there. Quartile 1's about 40. 75, go over until I hit my graph, and down. Quartile 3 looks like it's at about 57. So our interquartile range is approximately 17. And of course, those are just estimates based on what we saw here. Now, if we wanted to write 3 sig figs, put 17.0. This would be one where the IB exam wouldn't be too particular with your 3 sig figs or not. If you just approximated that it was 17, they would be fine with that, because writing 17.0 gives a sense of, you know, you're pretty accurate to about 17.0. With this, I don't know how I'm not that accurate. I think 17 is a rough estimate. It could be 15, it could be 18. So I actually, in this case, prefer things without those 3 sig figs, just because mathematically I think that makes more sense to me, that my estimate isn't that accurate. Now, cumulative frequency curves always have this sort of shape. You don't have a lot on this end, and you don't have a lot on the other end. Most of the time, the number of customers they have would be in the middle. There's some days that they have tons, but those don't happen very often. And there's some times that they have very few customers, but those don't happen very often. The majority of the time, they're going to have most of their customers happening here in the middle. So you'll get a steeper part of your curve because you're just increasing by so much in the middle, and then it levels out at the end and levels out at the beginning, because that doesn't happen as often.